Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Thursday night? Tonight we have, of course, the internet sensation that's sweeping the nation. That is, of course, overrated, underrated, and for the first time ever, not 7 items, but 8. That's right. Value added once again on the Tom Gully Show. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those free things you can do. Don't cost you a penny, but they will help us serve the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, algorithm. And also, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. You can avail yourselves of those. We'd love it if you would, because, of course, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. And then in addition to that, turn on those gifted memberships. We have very, very generous people who will kick in, and then you can get members-only content that we do on the weekends, and that ought to be great. Gene1313 says, good evening to the best show and chat on YouTube. Thank you, Gene. That is so very kind of you. And, of course, we do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet as verified by independent sources. Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, is just like most things in life. Dealing with it, the snow wouldn't be too bad if it weren't for all the other idiots who can't handle it. That's right. Grew up in Indiana. I'm used to this. It's spring in Indiana when this happens. Everybody can drive on it. There's no problems, but whatever. People saying hi. By the way, my people and the people over at Rumpled Trenchcoat have agreed in principle to a future appearance on this program. When all the details have been finalized, I'll announce it here. Terry Nee, the great Terry Nee, says it keeps getting colder. Sorry, Terry. Ice Age. People saying hi. Lucas, when it snows, well, it's cold. People saying hi. Global warming. Underrated. It is rated. It's very underrated. And it is very true. The thing of it is that we've gotten sort of frozen rain, wintry mix. Nobody cares about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And then we got rain, and we got some snow. So now it's just slush and crud that will freeze tonight. That's the problem. And it's not their fault. They didn't grow up in it like I did. So they have difficulty, a lot of difficulty. And I'm not going out there with people that don't know. I can remember in college one time it snowed 3 or 4 inches, and then there was a freak 60-degree day, turned it all to slush, and then it went back down to 20 degrees. And so you were literally driving on sheets of ice with tire tracks in them. So you'd get into the track and into the track, and you learn to drive on it, and you're fine. You're not even worried because you know everybody else can drive on it. But man, here, yeesh. And by the way, I do need to point out, this never happens here. You know, this is a big deal, and that's why I'm here. It's beautiful, and 100 degrees all summer, and it's just, it's nice. Terry Nee says, ice cream man won't pass by today. That's good, right? You know, the ice cream guy hasn't been by in a while. I don't know whether other people have complained or it's just his off season or what's going on there, but no complaints thus far from me about the ice cream guy. But watch, he'll come by now on a 30-degree night with ice and everything else. Cigarette out the window. Who wants a snow cone? You know. At any rate, we do have a fabulous episode of Overrated, Underrated tonight planned for you. Tomorrow night, we will talk about wiping. No, it's not front to back, back to front. It's the erasure and destruction of television programs. And I was thinking, Wolf, if you're available tomorrow night is a great night for you to be on. Because 2 reasons. Number 1, Wolf knows every TV show or movie that's ever been made. Number 2, he actually has them on videotape, and he won't be wiping them. He'll keep them. He's got millions of hours of stuff. And incidentally, next week for sure, we're going to do an episode on Dick Bong. I know you want to make it dirty. It's not going to be dirty. Dick Bong, who, if you haven't heard of him, you should have heard of him. And when I'm done, you will hear of him and you will never forget. Dick Bong, which is just fun to say. I think this person might have used to been named People Saying Hi. Now it's just People Saying. Let me see here. Ariana May says, hi, friends. Hello, friends. People Saying Hi says hi. Gene says People Saying Hi, and People Saying Hi. All different kinds of hi, as a matter of fact. It doesn't really matter. It does not really matter. Oh, let's see. Terry, we had this in 1983. I was stuck at Penn State over Chicago break. Car froze. Texas got snow then also. I remember the winter of 81. I was in the field sports building when it collapsed at Ball State. It soaked. It totally soaked. Let me see here. Well, hey, there's no reason we should delay it any further. Let's get to, once again, the internet sensation that is sweeping the nation. And that, of course, is overrated, underrated. Here we are. Item number 1, front steps. Front steps, overrated or underrated. Oh, it's not Chicago break, it was Christmas break. Yes, Fry the Friendly Skies with Jackie. No idea what that means. Wolf will tell me, and then I'll remember, and then everything will be fine. Anyway, front steps, overrated or underrated. Some people haven't conquered them yet. I mean, some people. Most people, though, you know, Rumble Trench Coat, overrated. They stink on ice. All right, we got one overrated. I also consider them. I don't know what to consider them. It makes me feel bad because some people... Oh, relating to Dick. Yes, relating to Dick. And Mark. Phrasing, overrated, says People Saying Hi. Overrated. And then innuendo rated. Innuendo. Is that an Italian suppository? Just curious. Just curious. Right now we have overrated on the board, leading 2-0 for those of you who care. But front steps, you know, they're a rough one for some people. Julian Zito says underrated. They keep the Daleks out of your house. That is true. That is, I had not stopped to think about that. That's very true. The Wolf says, I don't like steps. I'm going to call that overrated. Overrated. Gene says, overrated for the old and very young. And others. That's a fair point, Julian. It is a fair point, Julian. It's a very fair point. No, miles can fly. Okay. Dan. Well, right now we have a score of 4-1. Overrated. Front steps, overrated. Ariana May, also overrated. I think we're going to close this one out and just say they're overrated. Front steps are overrated. For most of us, for some of us, well, they're a bridge too far. And they might assault us. But most of us, they're overrated. They're overrated. I mean, when's the last time you turned to somebody and said, hey, nice front steps? Now, a front porch, that's totally different story. I'm totally with you there, Rumple Trenchcoat. Front porch, you'd be on all day. I love the front porch. 12 steps are good. Just kidding, Granny. Okay. Well, if you had the 12 steps, the front steps wouldn't be such a problem. People saying, where's that really handsome Doctorn guy? I heard he's really funny. He is really funny. Oh, is that Doctorn? You with your few. Anyway, item number 2 tonight. Oh, by the way, overrated. Item number 2 tonight on overrated, underrated is belts. Belts. Are they overrated or are they underrated? Me personally, a belt doesn't do a thing for me. It's purely decorative. I often wonder why I'm even wearing it. You've got to match it to something else. The only thing I guess they are, for some people, they're a gauge as to how much they've eaten recently. I don't know. You got him. You did. You had me going for a couple of postings there. The Wolf says belts are underrated. Underrated. Some people believe they're stylish. Underrated. Belts are underrated. All right. All right. Now the Wolf has a bizarre body shape. He's a professional bodybuilder. So, Rumpled Trenchcoat says it helps me avoid jail time for indecent exposure, so I have to call them underrated. Wow. Yeah, the Wolf has 72-inch thighs, 18-inch waist. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Underrated, says Terry Nee. Also underrated, says Stan the Man. Stanley Cross, please watch Stanley versus the World, usually around 2 a.m. Eastern-ish. Just keep your eyes open at The Urban Landlord on YouTube. At The Urban Landlord. So just youtube.com/@TheUrbanLandlord. Ariana May says, overrated. Make suspenders trendy again. The suspenders also. We don't have girly hips, Tom. Well, I do have to admit girly hips, yes. Gene1313 says you can't beat your kids with them anymore. Yes, sadly. That was a thing. The Wolf actually met me 40 years ago. I still wear the same waist length and all that other stuff, so I'm still not in need of a belt. People saying underrated, they have more use than just holding my pants up. Yeah, you can, in old movies, people used to use them for an actual belt, on their car. They just take their thing off. Underrated, they keep the car running. There you go, Lucas. Underrated. Man, underrated, just really. Rumpled Trench goes, I'm a beach ball with limbs. Belts are a must, although I did okay in the 80s with suspenders. Suspenders were a thing for a while. They were really a thing. Item number 2 tonight, belts, underrated. That's the final tally is underrated. Item number 3 tonight on overrated, underrated, lacrosse. Lacrosse. Overrated or underrated? I know the Wolf is probably going to point out that Jim Brown, the legendary U.S. football player, was also an All-American in lacrosse. So maybe it's underrated. I don't know. But lacrosse, overrated or underrated? At a lot of places, I think lacrosse is really big along the East Coast. At a lot of places, lacrosse is the sport for the guys that, couldn't really, and gals, couldn't play any other sport. So let's see here. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, I don't want to hate on anyone's fun time. It's just not for me. Overrated. Overrated lacrosse. The Wolf says, the greatest lacrosse player ever. I'm going to take that as an underrated. Yes, Jim Brown is universally recognized as one of, if not the greatest lacrosse player ever. Everybody, people everywhere say that. Overrated at Duke University. Oh, it can be an overrated. And they didn't do that stuff that the girl said she did, and none of that happened. Underrated, I don't even know any of lacrosse teams near me. There may not be one near you. Gene says underrated. Doc Torn, also known as People Saying, says, I'm going to go neutral on this one. Okay, that's a push. Right now we have 3-2 in favor of underrated. I'm willing to, here's the thing. I've played lacrosse. It's a fun sport to play. But in certain parts of the world, it's the greatest thing ever. They have a lacrosse league. I had a guy the other day trying to tell me that lacrosse was more popular than soccer in the United States. And I'm looking at him like, well, we average like 25,000 a match. And that's just because most of the stadiums are built to 25,000, and you guys have trouble getting 2,000. So, right now it's underrated. I'll let the crowd decide, but anyway, let's go underrated on lacrosse. underrated. It's your votes. Underrated. This next one. Oh, I've got some opinions on this next one. Yeah, it's Coldplay. Yes, it's Coldplay. Coldplay, overrated or underrated? Overrated or underrated? Now, my opinion is a strong one, and I'll admit right off the bat, but I don't know if I've ever heard a song by Coldplay. I'm sure that I have, but if I did, I didn't know it, and therefore I think they're overrated. 2 songs, says the Wolf. Lucas Malago says, "Oh, cool, Coldplay." I'm going to say that's an underrated. Doctorn says overrated. Rumpled Trenchcoat says the UK Nickelback. The UK Nickelback. What is a Coldplay? Abstain. The UK Nickelback. I don't know whether that's overrated or underrated. Rockstar Tom. Well, I try to be. But Coldplay. Like I said, if I'm sure at some point in time I've accidentally heard one of their songs, but I wouldn't know it if I did. And would that be Schillingback? Ariana says overrated. All right. Lucas says, "How dare you, Tom? That's a cold take." I was just cold playing. Let's see. Gene says, "If Hell on Earth was overrated, they fit the bill." Hell on Earth. I don't know what they sound like. I don't know what. I've heard a song of theirs. Rumble Trenchcoat says, "I like a couple of their songs, but they're so well known, famous. I'd have to go overrated." Okay. Well, overrated is going to win the day. Overrated. Coldplay. Overrated. I have very strong feelings on this one. In fact, I think we may have done this one before, and we're going to do it again. And that is, and please keep in mind, I'm putting this forth on the Snowmageddon that we're having. Fix You is pretty good. All right, well, I'll check it out. I'm in a cold, rainy, wet environment right now in Dallas-Fort Worth, and you'd think I'd be going one way on this. I'm going another way, and that is, of course, soup. Soup. Doesn't that look delicious? It's soup, which traditionally is a bunch of stuff that I would otherwise like, but in water. 70 there in South Cal, where the Wolf lives. Rumple says, "Soup overrated, chili overrated." Now, see, I like chili, but I hate soup. Hate soup. The Wolf only likes it when he makes it. Gene says it's underrated. A lot of people really like soup. Oh, okay, there we are. Rumpled Trenchcoat and I are on the same page. Soup is overrated. Chili's underrated. Gotcha. What? Gene had it under. Yeah, Gene has it underrated. Lots of people like soup. Julian Caesar says it's underrated. People saying I says, Doc Torn says, "Soup is witchcraft." Well, I'm going to say that's overrated. It's all tied up. I'd hate to decide this with my vote, because my vote would be 1,000 overrated votes. But some people really do like soup. There are some soups that I will eat. Beer cheese soup, French onion soup, and tomato bisque. Other than that, I won't even tolerate the notion of eating some underrated witchcraft. Arna May says it's underrated. There's infinite options for soup, and you can usually feed a lot of people for cheap. Well, that's true. That's true. And there are 1,000 soups. Stanley says homemade soup is underrated. That's true. You don't always get homemade. Soup is the devil. Soup's underrated. Wolf got the joke. Wolf got the joke. Soup is witchcraft. Well, I'm going to call it underrated. Wait. Got a late vote here. Well, it's not actually a vote. My wife makes great chili, good for cold days. Homemade soup is underrated. New England clam chowder out at Montauk Point, New York is worth its weight in gold. A lot of people also now this is going to get us into a whole nother thing here, but is stew a soup? I think stew is like chili. It's just its own thing. And I like stew usually, and I love chili, but soup, it's just runny and it's, people used to bring me that chicken, so I'll make you feel better. It's not going to make me feel better. Julian Zeezer says soup and stew are different. I believe him. Wolf says, wait a minute, clam chowder ain't soup. No, it's a chowder. It's a chowder. While we discuss this, I'm going to point out that soup has been voted, judged, deemed, if you will, underrated. Underrated. Agree. Stew is its own thing. It's really, if anybody who saw The Hateful Eight knows that truism about stew, is everybody's stew always tastes like their stew. You don't taste like this guy's stew doesn't taste like that guy's stew. You know what I mean? It's different. Julian Zeezer says soup needs a blender. Stew needs a roux. Is that the red or the white? The red or the white? I'm not tracking there. I agree with Julian. Soup and stew are different. I enjoy a good beef stew. Yes, a good stew. Nick says, does it have something to do with the ratio of liquid to solid bits? What makes the distinction between soup and stew? I don't know. I just think it's just for whatever reason. I mean, you could call chili soup, I suppose, if you wanted to, but they have chili soup. It's not, so it's got to be two different things. Stew is just stew. I think I like stew because it's got big chunks of good stuff in it. Whereas they just chop the good stuff into tiny bits and put it in hot water for soup. Soup is good, stew is great, but it can't beat that gumbo. No, it can't beat that gumbo. You got to make a rule, and then, 2-day gumbo better than 1-day gumbo, 3-day gumbo better than 2-day. Yeah, whatever. New England is the white, Manhattan clam chowder is the red, says Rumple Trenchcoat. Thank you for answering that. Wolf says The Hateful Eight was a hateful movie. I think that was the point. Chowder is red or white. Gene says gravy. Do we have to get into the whole gravy versus sauce discussion now? Which is an intriguing discussion. And on the heels of my good friend the Wolf mentioning The Hateful Eight, by the way, I did mention already, soup is underrated. On the heels of mentioning The Hateful Eight, overrated or underrated, item number 6, movie theaters. Movie theaters, and I'm including all movie theaters. I put this one up because it's just an easy visual. Everybody knows what that is. I could have put on one of these opulent, old, restored movie theaters. But these also include, and by this time, most AMC theaters and Cinemark theaters, it used to be a big thing, the movie theater grill or movie studio grill, studio movie, whatever, Alamo movie bar, whatever, these chains that would serve you food and all that in front of your table while you watch the movie. That used to be a big thing. Now I think pretty much all of them are doing it. So biscuits and gravy. Gene says overrated. Movie theaters overrated. Overrated. Rumpled says movie theaters are magic. Underrated. That depends on who you're with. Well, that gets into part of my theory about the movie theater. The only time you want to go to a movie theater is when that crowd effect is there. When when it's a comedy or it's a thriller where the whole crowd is taking part. If you're at a movie theater and there's 10 people in there, it's not worth going. The last thing I saw with a ton of people was that Top Gun Maverick. And it was great to see it there. I went with some other people. We got the food. We did the whole thing. But it was great because of all of the crowd reactions. That's what made it cool. So soup was underrated there, Doc Torn. Stanley says, movie theaters overrated. The older one gets. Well, Stanley, and that's interesting too. Because in our day, even if you had a really great TV and a VCR and all that, and even in the days of early DVD, you didn't have the awesome 55, 72-inch screen in your own home that gave you a movie viewing experience. So that's where you went to see, a big, giant thing. Let's see here. Oh, wait. Overrated. Whoops. Overrated. Underrated, says the wolf. Ariana says, overrated. Overrated. For so many reasons. Let's see here. I may be crazy. You may be. But it looks like Tom is wearing jersey on jersey. Does it now? Well, this is a warm-up. Whoops, sorry. We'll clear this out of the way. This is a warm-up. This is got a zipper and everything. This is not a jersey. It's just a shirt. So this is a compression shirt. So you're wrong 3 times. You're not crazy, Dennis. You're just wrong. I think I'd rather be crazy than wrong. People saying, says, movie theaters, underrated. So much fun could be had in the dark. Well, now, I don't know what movie theaters you were going to, sir, but Chef is in the house. Always great to see the chef. Terry Nee says, overrated. I'm a germaphobe. Oh, boy. Did not know that. Hope you don't get the bird flu. Wolf says, I like the $1.50 matinee. That's a good one. That's a good one. The chef is on deck. Julian Caesar says, I remember way back when it was de rigueur to see a special movie on opening night. Now, who cares? Well, I always go to see the Quentin Tarantinos and the James Bonds on opening day, if I can. I didn't get to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I was living in Utah. I'm pretty sure they didn't even show it there because it was Tarantino. The Wolf says, plus watched all those Kung Fu films in Detroit. Oh, God. Kung Fu in Detroit. Hello, chef. Dennis says, I was wrong. You were. It's okay. You'll redeem yourself later. Terry Nee says, Tom is dressed like Ray DeVito tonight. I don't have a dumb $45 ball cap. Hiya, chef, says Rumpled Trenchcoat. And I don't really know how Ray dresses, to be honest with you. I could be dressed like Ray. I have nothing against Ray. He's just Ray. What do we got here? We have 5-3. 5-3. Why? Ray DeVito? No. So we have overrated. Movie theaters have been deemed overrated. Item number 7, and please keep in mind we have an item number 8 tonight. And that is going to be Al Roker. Al Roker. Overrated or underrated? Al Roker. I'll say again to you. Al Roker. Overrated or underrated? The Wolf says overrated. That's hurtful. Overrated. Terry Nee says meh. Overrated. How can you not like Al Roker? Julian Zeter says, I'll go with under, but I haven't seen him in decades. Well, you're seeing a lot less of him. He lost all that weight. Item number 8 is smoking. Trouble trench coat. Back when he was famous, overrated. Since I thought he died 3 years ago, underrated. Okay. The thing about Al Roker is I thought he was funny and he was great as a weatherman, right? And then he started doing like serious interviews and stuff and hosting the Macy's Day Parade and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, that was a pretty good transition there. Gene says, I know him. His ex-wife worked with my mother over. Oh, well, we got somebody that knew him. That changes my opinion greatly. And I also thought Al Roker was kind of had a little bit of an I don't really care that I'm doing this job thing. He cracked jokes and seemed far more informal than a lot of the people that were on that show. So Doc Dorn says underrated. And Doc Dorn has broken the tie. He's no Willard Scott, that's for sure. But he will tell you what's happening in your neck of the woods, which right now is going to be snow until 6 in the morning, what they call snow here. I'm sure it won't be real snow. So there we go. The verdict on Mr. Al Roker is 4-3, underrated. Underrated. Let's see here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all of the free, don't cost you a farthing, things that you can do to help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Plus, also, we do have memberships. We do have super chats, and we love it when you do that because Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Also, please turn on your gifted membership. Some people do that, you know. Underweighted. Mule said it's snowing in Tennessee. It's snowing a lot of places right now. There's a lot of it going on. We do have a super chat here. It's from Mike's Not Good Internet Provider. Said, did you strike Sykes' channel, Tom? If so, not cool. Thank you for the $2. Well, let me just preface that real quickly. If you got people who don't like me, they don't do anything for me, they don't subscribe to this channel, they're not a member of this channel, they're not doing anything for me in the world but just crapping on me, and then they think they have a right to my stuff that I created because they can't create stuff on their own. Unlike the 20 to 30 people right now that are using my content that I see, that, you know, YouTube shows me this. They show it to you. You hit the little copyright button and they go, these people are using your stuff. And it's usually 100% of the video. 100% is my stuff. I let them. I don't care, usually. But if you're one of those other people, and then you come into my chat room and you're an ass, yeah, you're probably going to get struck. Yeah. Never did it before, but I did it today. And I'm sorry that they're too stupid to not create their own things, but you betcha I did. You betcha by golly, wow. So, you know, don't come in here and be an ass. Don't attend a show or watch it that you don't like because you just want to be a sixth grader and hassle people. You know, I don't do anything involving the Dabbleverse or any of these other slap fight shows. I do this show, which apparently, according to some, is the worst show that's ever existed. It's probably too smart for them. Now, there's a lot of these shows and a lot of shows in general. If I don't like them, I don't watch them. I don't know anything about them. I think that's what, you know, intelligent people do. But some people just think they have a right, you know, to my stuff. And you don't. So you betcha I did. Don't do all of those things. You're fine. Use whatever you want. Do those things. What you get to do everything you want to do, and I don't get to do what I want to do. How's that work in reality? It doesn't. So there you are. Don't forget the super stickers. There are super stickers for those of you. Terry Nee says, my grandparents had canals, Naples area frozen way back. Wow. That had to be something, because I used to live in Naples, and geez, it never got cold there. Stickers are cool. Super stickers, super cool. Well, pretty cool. Whatever. So item number 8 tonight. This is right from YouTube. What's that say? Creators should only upload videos they have made or that they're authorized to use. That means they should not upload videos they didn't make or use content in their videos that someone else owns the copyright to, such as music tracks, snippets of copyrighted programs, or videos made by other users without necessary authorizations. I don't recall ever having shown someone else's content here, unless it's public domain or Creative Commons. I don't. Because you know why? I don't want to get a copyright strike. That's why. Not your stuff. Sorry. And if you weren't an ass, wouldn't be a problem. No, we have a right to tell you what you can do on your show that you do all the work for. We have a right to come into your chat room. We have a right and do whatever we want. No, you don't. So, yeah. Anyway, copyright. Overrated or underrated? I can already tell you what the final verdict on this one's going to be. Rumple Trenchcoat is very correct here. Even using public domain stuff can risk a copyright strike. It can. Even if the film is public domain, some of the music in it might not be public domain. So, I worked at Cartoon Network. I was the editorial director, but half of my job was licensing and branding. And you gotta know that you own something to feel good about using it, unless you ask the person who does own it and who did create it. But copy wrong. Got a whole new piece of paper here for this. They 101. But that's going to be a big one there for me. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, copyright in principle is underrated. Correct. Look, copyright protects the creators, the people that create the stuff. It doesn't protect the thieves, nor the people that aren't creative enough to do their own thing. See, that's what it doesn't protect. Did you ever see me stream somebody here's show and go, I hate that? No, never happened. Our good friends from JMO Productions across the pond says SOPA was the worst thing to happen to small creators. No music crushes family movies. Facebook is trash for muting music. YouTube allows it. I don't make any money off my videos. I'm okay with that. The Wolf says, well, again, that depends. If you get a strike and don't deserve it, overrated. Yes. And that's not really copy. I mean, it is, but it isn't. YouTube might have a tighter definition of copyright as a commercial entity. It doesn't want to be found, liable for anything than anything else. But then you get people that go, you can copyright it. Everything you create has a common law copyright on it. At the point that you create it, the second you create it, yeah, it's copyrighted. It's copyrighted. People saying, I'm going to agree with the Wolf. That's right. You guys can keep voting, but it's going to be underrated. Rebel Trenchcoat says, like anything, it can be abused, like Disney extending copyright for decades or large companies crapping all over fair use. Well, and fair use has got a few problems as well. People go, well, it's transformative. There's way more than one element of fair use, as maybe some people will learn soon. I'm Henry Kissinger. I'm Switzerland. There you go. Hey, wait a minute. If you're Henry Kissinger, you're far from Switzerland, my man. But Switzerland, yes, you can be Switzerland. You can be Switzerland. But, oh, yeah. You want to be a jerk? Don't play with the bigger jerk. I mean, you sit, you're a nice guy, you laugh along for a little while, and then at a certain point, it's like, I don't think you know who you're dealing with here. I really don't. And so, there you are. Don't be a jerk. Don't come into this little area of the world. Again, 2.4 billion people use YouTube. So there you go. There you go. Dennis Rahman says, copyright, more like copy wrong. Overrated. Well, you must not create a lot of things. And by the way, second time tonight you've been wrong. It's underrated. It's underrated. It really is. You know, if anybody without copyright, and in this, by the way, this was done proliferately before copyright. A guy would write a novel, it'd be super popular, and another guy would just get it, copy it, publish it. Now it's mine. You do that, and it's not good for the creators. You want the creators to get fair value for what they've created, so they'll create more stuff. Those people that can't create anything, those are the people clipping other shows, watching other shows. You know, that's what you're getting there. That's the name of that tune. So, oh yeah, you got struck. Definitely got struck. Again, don't come in here and show your ass and start acting like, well, this is your little playpen and saying crappy things about me in here, which that person did. And okie dokie. Then don't just run out and grab a whole big hunk of something you don't like. I don't get that. I so don't get that. It's like there's a band you don't like. Do you go to the concert and start screaming, these guys suck? I don't think so. Probably not. Julian Caesar says Kissinger wrote lots of books protected by copyright. Well, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Is it? I'm just doing that for your sake. There's a lot of entitled people, you know. It's like, well, I get to determine what's right and what's wrong on YouTube, and you can't do this. Hey, now you crossed a line. Well, YouTube doesn't think so. Terry Nee says, as long as no one hurts Ray DeVito, I'm okay. Me too. Wolf says, how dare you accuse me of regicide and cover my name with infamy? How diddly-dong, dig-dong dare you? So you betcha. You betcha. You know, that person does it again, they'll get struck again. They'll get struck again. Sorry. You get to do whatever you want, but there's rules for me. That makes a lot of sense. Why would YouTube have these various facilities available for timing people out and hiding them? They don't use the right nomenclature. You don't ban people, you don't block people, you hide them. Jeez Louise. All right, this is moderate. This is benignly funny. It's kind of a dad joke. Doc says, my posterior is great. Every time I leave a room, I always hear people say, what a posterior. Doc Torn says, hey, Doc. I don't know what that's about. But the Wolf says, struck down by the mighty solar hammer. That's right. That is correctamundo. Phone lines are open at 972-994-6822. I think tomorrow night, the Wolf. Tomorrow night. Tonight, Brad. No, I'm kidding. We still haven't. Why are these people saying hi to Doc Torn? That's not the real Doc Torn. I don't think. I think the real Doc Torn is elsewhere. Yeah, you're gonna confuse Grandpa if you keep changing your names. You really are. But yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. What gets into a person's head that this thing that I don't own is now mine to use however I want? John says, I don't know. YouTube at least allows my music to play, but takes out my ability to make money on any of my vids. Facebook doesn't even allow music to be played. YouTube better than Facebook. Well, I mean, and there's, and I don't know specifically what you're talking about, John, but there's a lot of royalty-free music out there. You know, YouTube actually provides a tremendous amount of free music that you can use that is unlicensed. You can use it however you want. Yeah, let me be clear. Yeah, okay, now I believe you. Now I believe you. Now I believe you. Yeah, now I'm right on board. So anyway, that's our overrated, underrated for tonight. There you are. Glad I can answer all your questions. But this is mine now. Let me be clear. I am not a crook. Terry Nee said YouTube censored 2 of my last 2 humorous statements about Switzerland. Well, YouTube has been cracking down on a lot of the Swiss content. They're that way. They really are that way. And they've been that way for quite some time. Royalty-free, Merc. And then there's also this concept that says, just you can make your own stuff. Just make your own stuff. You know, I use unlicensed stuff here. I use Creative Commons stuff here, stuff that is out there for that reason. I also use a lot of my own photography and on my own stuff here. Dr. says, I was the original people saying hi. Sorry, just playing. It's okay, man. You do you. And because we do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, the Wolf is saying hi. See how nice we are around here? It's very nice. But yes, the concept that you've done nothing for me ever, nothing, but you want to come in and be a jerk in my chat room, and you think you have a right to do that. And if I do anything about it, I'm evil. Oh, you crossed the line. I don't do that, so now you can't do that. What the hell? Who the hell are you? Does that work anywhere, ever? Please, I'd love to know. I'd love to. It doesn't even make sense. Let's see here. Mason in Portland says, Bob Levy said, real men don't strike other channels. Very SJ of you, Tom. Well, Bob's entitled to his opinion. I don't know what to tell you. Create something someday. And then you'll be in a position to do it or not. I won't hold my breath. Oh, and also don't be a jerk. There's the biggest part of it. Don't be a jerk. There's a thing. If you have your own YouTube channel, it's a little copyright button. And you get a notification. Someone is using a video with 100% of your content. So, Doc says, being mean in most cheerful chat room on YouTube, overrated. Exactly. And Mason Important, what are you even doing here? I know. I'll go ahead and leave him for a while. Real men don't live in Portland. I have friends in Portland. Which one? The one next to Muncie or the other one? Or the other one? You know, Bob can do anything he wants. Bob's awesome. But I don't share that opinion. So I'm allowed to not have the same opinion as other people that I like. I'm serious. It's true. It's true. I don't know if you've looked into it or not, but it's true. But yeah, don't be a jerk. Don't come into my chat room and start one-line spamming it with stuff you know I'm not going to allow. And then, within a very short time period, decide to appropriate some of my content. Let's see here. let's see here. I have to agree with Mason. Opening that Pandora's box, unfortunately, is a two-way street. And once people in general, do that, they may do it back willy-nilly. It's not the best path. Hey, man, if I've used some of somebody else's content, have at it. I haven't. I don't. Copiously don't. And what you're saying, Dennis, is that nobody has a right to ownership of things they create. Well, we don't want... That is, I'm going to put it back up here because it's a super ignorant argument. Hey, once people start claiming the rights of the things they own, that's going to be a little crazy. Really? No, the other way is the crazy way, where I make things and then they're yours. That's the stupid way. Third time you're wrong, Dennis. And Dennis, no offense, I'm really adding a lot to the show. You know what I mean? The Wolf says, the one where I can be a new hunting partner. The one where the one where I'm a crowd favorite. Yes, then that is then that is the one near Muncie. I got you. Ooh, baby. Let's see. Tom's the textbook definition of content creator. I don't know if I'm that, but I get my stuff from places where it's... I mean, to do that crap for a living. 3 strikes, you're out. Well, not yet, but getting there. Yeah, man, that was my job at Cartoon Network. It's so simple. Well, it doesn't have a copyright on it. Well, did you create it? No. Well, then you can't use it unless you get permission to use it. Well, I'm just going to say I created it. Well, good luck with that. Because no matter where you use it, I'll have the earliest use. So you don't have a leg to stand on. It's just people that haven't educated themselves, probably in general and in life, and certainly not on this subject. So there are entire episodes of this show that have way more reviews than the actual show that I've done up on the internet. Don't care. Just don't care. Some of them are people I like and know. Some of the people I just like. Some of them are people that asked me. Some of them are people that just did it. I see them all. And I just go, who cares? Who cares? But a guy does enough crappy things, you're just like, I think maybe, okay. I'm never going to track that guy down. I'm never going to go to where he's at. I'm never going to care what he's doing. But by God, if it's right there in my YouTube studio, just smiling up at me, and I'm like, that guy, after all he's pulled, thinks he gets to just, nah, not this time. I don't think this time. Not your punching bag. Find something else to do. Do another ultra crappy, damn near step animation AI video. Do whatever you want. I'm not stopping you. Doc says, wasn't it the 90s that you worked at Cartoon Network? Partially. Not the whole time, but partially. I don't think the laws have really changed too significantly on copyright or intellectual property rights in that time. So there you go. There you go. Don't be an asshole. It's not here, but it could be, in my case. Sorry. Super sorry. We got about 6 more minutes, and then it's going to be tomorrow night, wiping. We are going to cover wiping. You asked because the group in the 90s did watch a lot of Cartoon Network. Well, it was there for you. And thank you. Hopefully you didn't watch any Nickelodeon. any whatsoever. Tomorrow night, wiping. Not what you think it is. It's the willful destruction of television programs that we now have no. When I read you some of the stuff that we don't have any anymore, you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it. Just gone. Just they spent all the money to make it, and then just went. We could save some on videotape. See ya. So that's what tomorrow's show about, and then we have the weekend, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. I know it's not going to be on Saturday. I'm working on some stuff over in the UK with some people in the UK, so I always get up early, like 3, 4 in the morning anyway. But now I'm talking to people and doing other things, and it makes you tired this time of day. Wolf says lots of films of downhill skiers. Well, the amazing thing is to me that early television, they did everything live and didn't even bother to record it unless they did a kinescope. So it's just gone. And then their attitude about all that content was it's disposable to begin with. John says, what are your thoughts about the new remixes on old classics? Some TikToks use awesome clips of great songs that have a remixed version of it. What % should go to the owners of the original? I don't know. That's almost one of those things that BMI or ASCAP or somebody should negotiate. But it's a hard question to answer because what % of their work are you using? And what % of the song does it make up and all that kind of stuff. So, I just don't understand this culture of, I'll just take this and I'll take this. And that's all AI is searching the internet, grabbing crap and using it that you did not create. They're going to court on all this stuff big time right now. I mean, big media companies. I mean, the New York Times and all sorts of other people are going, hey. They're using our stuff. Stop it. We paid to create that. So Rumble Trenchcoat says, my blood pressure is already rising just thinking about all we lost because someone wanted to save a few bucks. That's all it was about, too. And there was some bean counter just going, well, we can save this much and that much. And Chef says prayers for California. Yes, prayers for California. Our good friend Ed Robertson is, in my last reading, safe for the moment. He doesn't have power, but everything's cool where he's at. And I've got a few other people that not so lucky. So, thoughts and prayers to those folks in California. Say goodnight, Gracie, everyone. Good night, Gracie. The Wolf says, that's right, Coat. It's time to riot over it. Combining shows. Video games, underrated. I think they're overrated, but 972-994-6822. If we don't get any calls, we'll just close it up and head on home. Tomorrow, though, the Wolf. If I'm going to call you, Wolf. If you can't do it, you can't do it. I am going to call you, though, tomorrow night. We'll get the Wolf's take on all this, but all the early stuff just gone. And we're talking like Studio 90 and these dramatic presentations, just great stuff that they just said the videotape's more valuable. And it's like, that's almost like a circular logic. It's like the show isn't worth anything. We want it for the tape. What, so you can tape another show that you're going to tape over? Why would you? Anyway. Julian Caesar says, I read Memoir of a Nobody by your buddy Steve Bluestein. It is good. Thanks for the recommendation. Thank you. Thank you. Bluestein, sorry. Oh, God, he'd be so mad at me. Steve Bluestein, funny book. Julian, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I like the sort of bite-sized sort of, it tells a full story, but it's like stories that tell a story. It's very interesting. And I laughed out loud at that book. It's the funniest book I've ever read. It's very, very funny. And Steve's funny. He's a funny man. Funny man. funny, funny man. All right. Let's close the old phone lines down. I think that's going to do it for tonight. I really, really do. Hold on here. Frankenstein. Stein. We all know what he did. All right. Yeah, let's just close that down. And tomorrow night, wiping. Thanks to all of you for being here. Thank you, Mike's not so good internet provider, for the $2 and for allowing me the opportunity to answer that question. And I think that's going to do it. I was going to play a song. I think I'm going to play a song. I think I'd like to play a song to close us out tonight. It sort of describes my feelings about some people that I also have permission to play. Let's see. And that's another thing you can do is become friends with other content creators, and you just say, "Hey, man," and they go, "Cool, no problem." I'd call, but I'm coughing too much. Swig down some liquor. You need some liquor. I'm going to leave you now with images from tonight's show, along with one of my favorite songs that is dedicated to all those people who can't stand me or this show, yet watch it and waste their time on it. It's dedicated to all those geniuses. Oh, man, I forgot. I got to take the volume down on this. I think it's to about there. Little clock on the wall says it's about time to get out like River now green. Stay here. And, till next time. Oh, got it. Sorry, folks. I'm doing the ending different than I normally do. Till next time. We'll see you next time.
I don't know what happened to you long ago. Dogs of a feather may hang together, but rabid dogs tend to stray. I empathize with your crossed wires. I may even share your twisted desires, but never go out of my way to see you fall. Oh, do you remember when you came to me on the outside looking in? You pitched your tent, stole my shit, and hit the road again. You never did nothing without an angle down below, like everyone else, only so much more so. Never go out of my way to see you fall. You can trash my songs, forget my lines, drink of my women, steal my wine. You can claw your way to the bloody top, but never go out of my way. I'd never go out of my way to see you. I'd never go out of my way to see you fall. I guess it's just a matter of a couple of degrees between standing on your belly and crawling on your knees. Remember you and your demons showing up at the door, a bottle of Herradura at 3:45. I cared for you when you didn't even know yourself. Man, I helped you become somebody else. Said I'd never go out of my way to see you fall. You can trash my songs, forget my lines, drink of my women or steal my wine. You can claw your way to the bloody top, but I'd never go out of my way. I never go out of my way. I never go out of my way to see you fall. forget my lines, drink of my women, steal my wine. You can claw your way to the bloody top. The only one there is going to be you. And for a while, you may even be happy too. But it's true, we always get what we deserve. And you got you. Trash my songs, forget my lines. You can drink of my